Hi, my name's Todd. I'm 24 years old. I identify as a gay male, and I'm an active member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, otherwise known as the Mormon Church. Growing up, I didn't have a whole lot of exposure to even the word gay. It was usually just something thrown around the neighborhood when somebody was annoyed with somebody. But I didn't really pay that much thought up until middle school, where, hormones are running rampant. I had a friend, she ended up asking me who I had a crush on, and that was the point right there where I realized I didn't find girls attractive. When I really started figuring out that I was attracted to guys was when PE ended up being split into boys and girls. I remember afterwards having to hit the showers and being so uncomfortable around all those guys. My family is very, very much so active in our church, and in the Mormon culture, religion really kind of is the basis for everything, from what you talk about at school to neighborhood activities. And so a lot of things I wasn't really all that exposed to growing up. But we lived in our nice little bubble, and I loved every minute of it. But something that was really hard was never feeling like I could open up about who I was really attracted to. All growing up, I was just told that, boys like girls and girls like boys, and that's the extent of it. I mean, nobody even suggested the fact that a boy could possibly like a boy. And then when I got a little bit older, and when questions were asked, a lot of times people would say, oh, well, that's a sin, so don't do it. It was hard sometimes, for sure. I mean, I loved everything that I was raised to do and be. I love the church because it teaches people to be good, teaches people to treat people with kindness and with respect, no matter their background. But it also has very firm standards of what I should be and what's expected of me as a member. I never really doubted that what I was being taught was true, or at least that it was a good thing, because I loved the way that I felt when I follow its teachings. I never actually really had that big of a conflict growing up with it. I had loving parents who were supportive and understood me. I had great friends who didn't judge me. It's one thing that's expected of most males is, if they're healthy enough, for them to serve a full-time mission or a 2-year period, being called to preach. I ended up spending 2 years in Japan right after the earthquake in Fukushima. We're paired up in sets of 2, sometimes 3 of elders. So 2 19, 20-year-old guys living in an apartment together. So I felt like, because I was different and because I felt different my whole life, I didn't feel like I was quite worthy to be there. Luckily, I had a great leader in that mission who I ended up talking to about this. And I was really nervous because I'm like, oh no, I'm going to tell him that I'm attracted to guys, and he's going to get furious, I'm going to get sent home, I'm going to be dishonorably discharged, which would be a really bad thing in this culture. And I opened up to him, and he just started to laugh. And he said, is that really all you're worried about? For one thing, you're doing great. You're seeing a lot of success, and you're growing a lot. I think you can be here. And obviously, if you are here and you're seeing the success that you are, the Lord thinks you can be here too. So the only one who's concerned about you being here is really you. And that really kind of changed my perspective on life. For the longest time, I felt like I was broken, like I wasn't as good as other people, because I felt like I couldn't live up to certain standards as well, no matter how hard I tried. And after that, I felt a lot more confident with myself. And then Mormon culture hits. Young men are expected to get married. They're supposed to go out, they're supposed to date, they're supposed to start a family, because the gospel of Jesus Christ really is so much about family. And so that's a big reason why homosexuality is looked down upon in the church. It's not because people couldn't feel love or people couldn't do good things together, but it's the fact that they can't procreate and they can't have an eternal progression. For the longest time, I tried doing that. I tried getting out and being that good Mormon boy who goes out and he courts girls and he dates and he tries to form relationships, and it just never worked out for me. One piece of advice that I think would help a whole lot would be true to who you are. And if you believe in God, believe in God. And if you're gay, be gay. Who cares what other people say? Dakara nandashoka. And that means, so what? I mean, so what if other people look? So what if other people stare? So what if other people judge you? That judgment is on their heads, not yours. You just go out and be you and love life. I mean, if you want to be happy, you have to choose to be happy.